Do what they do, gang? Good morning, gang. Good morning, gang. Good morning, gang. What they do, gang? Who all gonna come up in this thing today? Who all coming up in this thing today? Good morning to everybody, man. Freaking lost my service earlier, dog. I was live earlier, lost my service. Now I'm back with another banger today. I don't even remember what's in this damn folder. I ain't even gonna cap. I don't remember what's in this folder at all. I don't know anything about that shit. West Memphis. She. Where's Memphis? Where's Memphis? You know I gotta keep that trap. Should it appear? Should it appear? Should it appear? Mm, 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 mm. That ain't the best. That ain't some bad. That's some good stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? That's some good stuff right there. Always want to keep that handy, you dig? Always want to keep that handy. That's some good stuff right there. I have to deal with that later too. I have to deal with that later. But I'm glad I found these. Glad I found these. Yep, yep. I'm glad I found these. I'm glad I found these. Mm. Oh, I done lost $1 somewhere. I gotta find my dollar. That's my lucky dollar. Where my lucky dollar go? I lost my lucky dollar, y'all. I lost my lucky dollar. Somewhere, somehow. I done lost the lucky dollar. How the hell did I lose the lucky dollar, y'all? Oh, man. Lucky dollar. Mm, 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 mm. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. You know I'll be out in 5 minutes. If my people don't come in here and talk to me, I'll be out in 5 minutes. Gone. Completely knocked out. Sleep. What you said? You related to George Floyd? Itch I might be. Ish I might be. You never know. You never know. I might be. You never know. I might be. Itch I might be. Put some light on or something, bro. So y'all can see what's happening around this. Boy. Ish I might be. I feel like I seen you ask that question before in somebody live. I don't know if it was. I don't know where you was, but I seen you ask that question before. You asked somebody that same question. You related it to George Floyd. Why you going around asking that question, man? You just looking for a response. You looking for a reaction. 'Cause that's what happened. You looking for a response, huh? Ask somebody a question like that. Walking spirit. How you doing, sir? This fine evening. It's morning here. It's 7:30 in the morning here. I'm doing well. Just got work. I just got off work. How you doing? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Double tap that screen. Double tap that screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning to everybody. Good afternoon to those in different countries. Good evening, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. You dig. You dig. What they do, what they do, what it is. I tend to confuse the two. Nothing, sir. Just good. Fam's been thinking about the presents recently. You confused the two? Okay. S- Well, what you said though, not just good. Fam's been thinking about the presents recently. What presents you been thinking about? What you mean you been thinking about the presents recently? The Christmas presents? You thinking about the Christmas present? What's up, y'all? Double tap that screen. Holla at your boy. Speak. If you in here, say hello. It's all right. Don't be lurking. You can say hello. It's fine. For me, evening looks like early morning. Anyways, we getting Christmas presents. Yeah. Okay. I hit 85,000 subscribers today. Hell yeah, Mr. Stepper. Mr. Stepper, Mr. Stepper, Mr. Stepper. Hell yeah, boy. I'm trying to get like you when I grow up. River 2000. What it do, man? What's happening with you? Congratulations on the 85,000 subscribers. Tap that screen if you don't mind. I'll check you out. I'll check your page out later. You subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. You did. Straight up and down. Mr. Stepper is officially the big stepper, right? He's stepping on shit. 85,000 subscribers. He's stepping on it. He should subscribe to my channel so I can go subscribe to him. You did. He subscribed to mine. Then when I get done with this live, I can check and see who all subscribed, and then I can subscribe to him. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe for a subscribe. Hit that like button too. You know what I mean? Do your boy a favor. Hit that like button. Each one reach one. You did. Each one reach one. I gotta turn that light on, man, because I feel like I ain't really getting good lighting. Y'all might think I look like a clown. Y'all might think I look like a clown. Not that I care, but I don't. Mr. Stepper didn't even say nothing else, man. Y'all in here, man. Talk to your boy. If y'all in here, talk to your boy. You did. Talk to me. Holler at me. What's good? What y'all want to talk about? What y'all got going on today on a Sunday? On a Sunday morning. How y'all feeling? What you have for breakfast? What you eating for breakfast? Who cooking this morning? Which one of y'all cooking this morning? What you having for breakfast? Hey, what you having for breakfast, hey? Mm-mm-mm. What y'all having for breakfast this morning? Bro, you need to get in the commentary booth. Is that right? Dom, I just broke up with my girl. What do I do? Move on. If you broke up with her, move on. What you mean, what do you do? If you broke up with her, move on. That means you're done. You did. Ate two small bowls of regular sun chips. Okay, cool. Two small bowls of regular sun chips. All right, will do. Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, move on, man. Ain't no sense in dwelling on it. If that's what you wanted to do, you made the decision to break up with her, so move on. Especially if she ain't trying to. I don't really know the reason why. You know, why you broke up with her. If she ain't trying to make amends. She ain't trying to make amends or apologize for whatever it is and do better. Move on. We don't dwell on anything around here. We don't dwell on it around here. I gotta take my shoes off, y'all. I gotta take my shoes off. Straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down. Good morning, people. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. What's happening? Don't be in my chat lurking. Don't be in my live lurking. Say hello or something. I'm talking about the people that's just watching and not saying anything. Man, we had the live popping last night, and I didn't see neither one of y'all in here. But we had the live popping last night. It was popping last night. It was fun. We had a lot of people in here talking. She already started running past the line, and you're 40 yards apart. Just accept the touchdown, bro, and make the next play. Quarterback. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. She already running past the line, and you're 40 yards apart. Just accept the touchdown and make the next play. I see what you did there. That's right. Yeah, don't be looking around for red. Don't be looking around for flags. Ain't no flags. The only flag you saw is a red flag. Don't be looking for anything. Don't be throwing your hand up. None of that. You know what I'm saying? She already scored. Game over. On to the next game. Focus on the next opponent. Focus on the next person. Or focus on yourself. It's the off season. Focus on building yourself up, getting better as a man, as a person. You feel me? Pretty good analogy right there. You did. That's a pretty good analogy. For sure, for sure. Tap that screen, y'all. Let's see if we can get more people in here to chat it up. It seemed like I never really do numbers in the morning, but at night I do numbers. That's crazy. We doing numbers at night. My live last night, I went live last night, had almost 1,000 views, and now had almost 1,000 views come through. We was getting it in last night. We was getting it in. You know what I mean? Man, I hope it don't snow today. I really hope it don't snow today. I hope the sun comes out and I hope the temperature just rise up. Ugh, makes no sense, man. It gets so cold and it snow. And when it snow and it's cold and it's icy, that snow just stick. Ugh, can't stand it sometimes. Conscious cook. I'm a Tulane fan, so I'm petty today. Man, you should have known y'all was gonna get y'all ass whooped. I don't know why you petty today. You should have known Tulane was not gonna compete. No, no shot at Tulane, but they just don't get the players. Don't be petty, man. Just be happy y'all made it. Be excited that y'all made it and got the opportunity. You know what I mean? Heard about Tulane, how y'all doing in the games. Tulane, they lost. They lost yesterday. They lost convincingly yesterday, which is why the committee got it absolutely wrong. The college football playoff is supposed to be for the best teams, not the deserving teams. The best teams, not the deserving teams. Understand that. The best teams, the ones who can compete and actually put up a fight, the ones who have the players, the recruits, the stars, not the teams that are playing in lesser conference competitions and just being handed a chance to see if they can actually play. Look, this already been proven. It's been proven. It's been proven 3, 4 years ago when they put Cincinnati in the playoffs. It was proven then. I don't understand why what point the committee is trying to prove to the college football nation. They're not proving the point. All they're doing is just giving out participation trophies, and they need to stop. It needs to stop today, not tomorrow. Today, it needs to stop. Tulane did not deserve an opportunity in the college football playoffs, and JMU did not deserve an opportunity in the college football playoffs. I said what I said. We got the players. Most of our guys came from transfer portal. We lost to Ole Miss in the regular season. Also, what's their stats? Their stats, I don't know. I think they were like 10 and I don't know. I mean, we had a stronger strength of schedule than Notre Dame and won our conference. No, you didn't. Uh, if you can't win your conference, then that's on you. Y'all conference, y'all conference is not tough, and that's I mean that respectfully. Yeah, you might have a strong. I mean, Notre Dame didn't make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs, but it's the eye test that we're talking about, though. We're talking about the eye test and the players Notre Dame have. Notre Dame would literally wipe the floor with Tulane. Notre Dame, i- if you line Notre Dame up with Tulane, right, you can go to the transfer portal, but you're still not getting the caliber players that Notre Dame are getting. You're not getting the same caliber players. You can line Notre Dame up with Tulane, and Notre Dame will literally run through the wall. They will run Tulane off the field, literally. You can look at the eye test. The eye test will tell you everything about a football team. I knew going into that these playoffs game. I knew you guys, Tulane and JMU, I knew you guys were gonna get smoked. Respectfully, I knew you were gonna get smoked. Oh, if you can't win your conference, then that's on you. If you're a three-loss team, you don't deserve to go to the playoff over a conference winning team. I don't know any three-loss team that went to the playoffs over a conference winning team. Notre Dame lost to Southern Illinois. My guy, come on, that was last year. We're talking about this year. That was last year. We're talking about this year. Notre Dame only lost to Texas A&M and Miami. That was last year. Don't bring up anything from last year, okay? Yes, they did. But what happened last year when they lost to it was actually Northern Illinois, by the way. When they lost to Northern Illinois last year, what happened? They went on a winning streak. They went on a winning streak. Who did they beat in the playoffs? They beat Georgia in the playoffs last year. What they did this year, when they lost the first couple games this year to Texas A&M and M and Miami, what they do? They went on a 10-game winning streak. It's not how you start sometimes, it's how you finish. It's not how you start sometimes, it's how you finish. Okay? And if you're referring to Alabama, that was the only three-loss team in the playoffs, then you can't say that they don't deserve to be in the playoff when the rule is you can't be penalized for losing a conference game. That's the rule. That's the rule. Even though BYU was penalized, but BYU can't even compete. They can't even compete. They can't compete. Alabama Alabama was the conference, the regular season SEC conference champions. And then they went to the championship and lost the game. So they were the number one seed in the SEC. They had two losses in the regular season. Then that's how they made the playoffs. The conference championship wasn't the reason why, or a lot of people knew that, but so many people I think they hate Alabama so much that they know the rules, but they just don't want to see them there anyway, because they've had so much success. Just shows on any given day a team can win. Honestly, it should have been, no, it should, BYU over James Madison. It shouldn't have been neither one of them. It shouldn't have been Tulane, James Madison, or BYU. It should have been Vanderbilt and Notre Dame. Why? Because you can actually get competitive games. The playoffs is about the best teams. I'm sorry. Tulane, James Madison, and BYU are not they're not even top they're not even top 20 teams. They won't beat Texas. Neither one of those teams will beat Texas. Neither one of those teams will beat Vanderbilt. Neither one of those teams will beat Notre Dame. Neither one of those teams will beat who else? Can you throw out there? Neither one of those teams will beat hell. Let me think. Who else didn't make the fucking college football playoff that could have made it? I can't think right now. I can't think. But they're not even, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Those teams, they're not up there. They're not the best 12 teams. I don't know. They don't deserve to be in there. They just don't. I mean, BYU, the the top team, the one top team they played, they couldn't even beat them or even compete. You know what I mean? Like you lost to them in the regular season, and then you go to the championship and you get whooped again. Like you didn't even compete twice. So what makes you think BYU can go to a playoff and compete with other top teams if they can't even compete with the one team that they lost to twice convincingly? It doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. So it's like the committee, it really ticked me off when they put James Madison and Tulane in the playoffs because it's like, okay, BYU lost their conference, but they was in the conference championship. So you're right. Technically, they should have been in the playoffs. But if you're gonna kick BYU out of the playoffs, you probably shouldn't even allow JMU or Tulane in the playoffs. I would argue they won't even beat BYU. Neither one of those teams won't even beat BYU. None of those teams can compete at all in the playoffs. They can't. They can't. The playoffs is for the best teams. The best teams in this format. In this format. The 12 team playoffs in this format is for the best teams. You want to do shit like that? Make it a college basketball bracket playoff. Make it a college basketball bracket playoff or something. If you want to try these smaller schools, but right now with the limited space that we have, 12 teams, the limited space, you have to put the best teams. That's it. I'm sorry. The best teams are the ones that should be playing for TV ratings, for money, for TV ratings. You're wasting time with these smaller schools. They're not getting the views. I didn't even watch the games yesterday. The only game I watched was Texas A&M and M and Miami. I didn't even watch the Tulane, Ole Miss. I didn't watch JMU and Oregon. I didn't watch it because I wasn't interested. You know how many people felt like I felt yesterday? They did not want to watch those games. Why? Because they knew what the outcome was going to be. They knew. They knew. They knew. BYU is a better team than Notre Dame. That's a lie. Vandy is SEC, so by strength of schedule, they deserve it. Dame isn't in the conference, so that's their fault. And Tulane finished the season ranked 21. I guess. I guess. Good morning. Hello, chat. How is everyone? How you doing, Stacy? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. The committee is a joke. Yes, either make the playoffs bigger or use AI and analytics to predict the teams. Committee has too much human bias. Robots don't have passion. Good, sir. And you? That's a woman. That's a woman. Yeah. They actually do use uh they use computers for they look at that too. They look at that too. But like I said, robots and computers, yeah, they can generate all of the stats, right? The analytics. They can generate all that stuff and show you the strength of teams, right? Or the strength of schedule. That's how they actually do it. With the strength of schedule, they use analytics. They use computers, right? AI or whatever. They get the analytics and they say, okay, you know, by rankings, by recruiting, by players, you know, this team, these team match up with each other, right? That's how they know which team match up with each other. That's how they know who has the dogs, who have the players. But look, that's how they know the SEC is the best conference because the SEC recruits on a higher level than any other conference, right? Every year you got 7 or 8 teams in the top 10, 6 or 7 teams in the top 10 in recruiting from the SEC alone, right? That's why when people say, oh, SEC bias, SEC bias, They don't understand the full scope of football, college football, or the full scope of the recruiting part, right? So you can't fully use AI for that purpose. You got to have the eye test too. The eye test is the most important thing, right? And you just know how teams will match up. Like, come on, bro. I knew JMU was not about to go 60 minutes with Oregon. With Oregon, 60 minutes. A small school like JMU who do not get big recruits, who do not recruit big boys, bigger boys on the offensive line, bigger boys on the defensive line in the trenches. The game is won at the line of scrimmage. You got a small school, they're going to have smaller players. Facts. They're going to have smaller players, weaker players. The bigger schools are going to get the big boys. That's it. They're going to have the better strength and conditioning program at the bigger schools. They're going to have the better facilities, better equipment, all of that stuff. They're going to have the better everything at bigger schools. That's why you do not see as many upsets in college football from smaller schools. You might see it every now and then. You might catch a football team slacking every now and then, but you see more upsets in basketball than you will in football. You know, Northern Illinois ain't beating. They're not beating LSU. They're not beating Alabama. Northern Illinois. They're not beating Ohio State. They're not beating Michigan. They're not beating these schools unless they got a first year coach like Marcus Freeman was last year when they caught him slipping. You had to bring that point up. And I just thought about that. Yeah, he was a first year coach. Like you might catch him slipping with a first year coach or something like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Homie, you were talking to, left the chat for some. Oh, okay. They started using AI for NFL a while back. Facts. I'm washed. With the transfer portal, you're going to see way more upsets. Man, the transfer portal, all you're gonna see in the transfer portal, right? Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. More variables, more extreme wins and losses. I'm gonna tell y'all something. The transfer portal does not work for everybody. It don't. You have to have a smart, you have to have a great coach who can bring um chemistry out of the transfer portal, right? You see this transfer portal screw a lot of teams up. Like Florida State. Florida State is the prime example of grabbing 20 plus players out of the freaking transfer portal and then laying a fucking egg. They had one good game. They beat Alabama the first game of the season. It was like a Super Bowl game for them. They went out there, they played, they beat Alabama. Then what happened? What happened? They fell off the map. Why? Because the chemistry is not there with that team. It's hard to do that. You need to the coaches all the good coaches always Kirby Smarts, the Steve Sarkeesians, the Nick Saban, all of the great coaches they talk about development. Ryan Day, great coach, development, developing high school players. The transfer portal is not it. It works when you can grab key pieces out of it, but when you're trying to build a squad out of it, nah, it's not gonna work. I don't care if you're Tulane and you're grabbing, you can go grab Dylan Raiola. You know what I'm saying? You can go grab Carson Beck. You can go grab Fernando Mendoza. Tulane can grab him, and I guarantee you he will not he will not win that team a championship. Why? Because he'll be only that one player. He's gonna cost a lot of money, and they don't have the resources to actually build a team. No harm, no foul, for sure. Teams with a deeper roster with players who can't get playing time gonna hit the portal, and you'll see more mid-major getting better. Oh, like who? Mid majors like who? Mid majors like who? Mid majors like who? Mid majors like who? Florida State. Florida State actually got about five or six players from Alabama roster when Nick Saban retired. Five or six players, something like that. What did they do? What did Florida State do? They beat them, but what did they do this season? Nothing. 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 I'm telling you, what coaches are getting smarter too, right? So now with revenue sharing too, that's going to help out a lot too to help maintain rosters. But coaches are getting smarter too, all around, especially the big schools like Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU, Florida. All these schools are getting smarter with the NIL deal and high school recruits. Uh, what they're doing now is a lot of these coaches are making sure that they are promising their second and third string. They're promising their players if they stick around, they're gonna give them more money in the years to come, right? Because you don't know, like if you transfer, you don't know you're gambling if you transfer. It's a bigger gamble if you transfer out of a school, especially if you haven't played yet. It's a bigger gamble. But if you come out of high school as a 4 and 5 star, right, and you continue to work on your development and get better at the same school, then chances are you're gonna get an increase in NIL at that school. You can make more money at that school, right? People transferring trying to chase the dollar, and a lot of them are being. You know how many people are being hurt through the transfer portal? It's so many college kids are not finding schools. They're just free agents. They're not even finding schools. Everyone wants good soldiers out of the box. Lane Kiffin also got $100 million NIL budget and will snag Bryce Underwood. Uh, Bryce Underwood, he alright. I mean, I did like him preseason. I still like Bryce Underwood. But that's what they say, right? They talk about development, right? Um, Sharon Moore wasn't a good coach. Bryce Underwood would have not started at any other Power Five school. Well, I can't say any other. He probably would have, but like a top school, if he would have went to LSU, he wouldn't have started over Garrett Nussmeier. Um, if he would have went to anywhere in the SEC, he probably would have started somewhere in the SEC. It just depends. It depends. It would have been hard, but a great coach understands like Bryce Underwood was not ready to start. He was not ready to start. He did not have a great season. He did not have a great season, and he might. I hope he gets better next year. I hope he does. You know, I really do. Lane Kiffin, yeah, he utilized the transfer portal. It worked for him. It worked for him because he's a great coach. He is a great coach. Bryce committed to LSU first, then switched. Right here in Louisiana, he would have started over Nuss. Nah, he wouldn't have started over Nuss, my boy. They were. He wouldn't have started over Nuss. Nuss had the starting position last year. You know what I'm saying? Like he going into this season, he already had it wrapped up. They already knew who. Because you got to think, last year they were talking about Garrett Nussmeier. Preseason, he was a Heisman. He was a preseason Heisman candidate. Because last year they were saying Garrett Nussmeier is going to be a top 10 quarterback pick this year. He didn't have a great season, but I'm telling you what they were saying preseason and last year. He was high on the radar last year. That's why Bryce Underwood was so convinced to transfer, because Sharon Moore, Michigan, they offered him this money and told him that he was gonna be the starter. They promised him the starting position. And what did Bryce do? He went like a fool. He went like a fool, chasing the bag, chasing the bag. It's not always the way to go. Especially, I mean, if you just want to go to college and play college football and maybe you're not really concerned about the NFL and your development, yeah, cool. But why would you leave a school like LSU, right? Why would you leave a school like LSU? Granted, Brian Kelly got fired, but Brian Kelly has more experience than Sharon Moore. He has more coaching experience. He has more playoff experience. He has more success than Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore hasn't accomplished anything. That's how I knew Bryce Underwood solely went for the money. There's no way you could tell me that he went for to win a championship. No way you could tell me he went for the development aspect, right? No, he went for the money, man. Y'all supported him when he was in that gym. Y'all supported him when he first got that job. When he first got that job and he changed his accent, y'all supported him. But nah, y'all got him out of there, man. Y'all got him up out of there. Y'all got y'all one with Lane Kiffin. I just hope it don't come back and bite him in the ass because I don't like how he did Ole Miss. I don't like how he did his team. He walked out on his team. You got to finish the season. In the NFL, you cannot. That's one thing I do like about the NFL. Coaches have to finish the season. Coaches have to finish the season. No matter what, no matter who's interested in him, if he can go somewhere else, he has to finish the season. And Lane Kiffin did not think about his players. He thought about himself. He should have finished the season with Ole Miss and told LSU to fucking wait. He should have told LSU to wait. Because LSU they wanted Lane Kiffin. I don't understand, what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why he felt like he had to make the move. I know probably for recruiting purposes, but LSU gonna get the recruits regardless. They gonna get the recruits regardless. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to miss that portal window. He didn't want to miss that portal window and that recruiting part. But he fucked over his kids though, right? You fuck over your kids. Like Ole Miss have a chance to win a championship. They had one. They're not about to beat Georgia now. Not with that. Not they're not about to beat Georgia. They almost beat Georgia before. They almost beat Georgia. They can beat Georgia, but they're not about to beat Georgia now. No, 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 no. Not without Lane calling the plays. Not without Lane Kiffin calling the plays. They're not about to beat Georgia. No, 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 no. Not finna happen. Not finna happen. Not at all. How you leave Ole Miss when they're in the playoff? Right, right, right. That's the only thing that you know. Now, a lot of people don't like Lane Kiffin. I never had a problem with him, but that right there, I did not like. I did not like that from him. Kelly is a Yankee, wasn't a good culture fit, but Lane did Ole Miss dirty, can't lie. But the boosters are dropping a bag on Lane and NIL. It's about to be insane. It's about to be insane. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be insane. But don't forget revenue sharing though. Don't forget revenue sharing. Can you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep. I can keep it down. I can keep it down. Yeah, I can keep it down. I can keep it. But it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does. For sure. For sure. Who else? I think The package he got was insane though. Free private jet, free cars, free country club access, drivers for his whole family, new cars, $1 million contract. He had no choice but to leave. I don't think Lane um uh I don't know. I hope Lane can remain disciplined. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope Lane Kiffin can remain disciplined. That's all I'm gonna say. With all of those perks and things, I hope he can remain disciplined in Baton Rouge. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say. I hope he can remain disciplined. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see here. But yeah, you got Lane Kiffin, LSU, Auburn. I don't really like the hire that Auburn got out of Alex Golish. I really think they settled, to be honest with you. I really think Auburn settled for that hire. They wanted John Summerall out of Tulane. They wanted John Summerall. Um, but, you know, Florida offered John Summerall. I think that he'll get Florida back. I think John Summerall will get Florida back into the conversation. I really do. I think that I think he knows how to build a culture around a team, right? I think he knows how to run a program. Alex Golish though, mm, like when you watch John Summerall's press conference, you feel it. Like you feel that he's a coach. Like you feel like he's coming in, he's about to, he mean what he says and he's gonna make a change. You can tell. You can some coaches you could tell from um their character, their mannerisms, how they talk, what they say, like you can actually tell. Of course, you can look at what he did. We already know what John Summerall did at Tulane, right? He did turn the program around, but you could tell when a coach talk ball and you look at his character, you could tell that he's there to change the program. Like, all right, I'm here. I'm here to do it my way, and this is how we gonna win. But Golish though, Alex Golish, that was a joke of a hire. I'm not even gonna front. And I'm not even I don't like Auburn at all. I hate Auburn, but and if it was a great hire, I would say it's a great hire. But those fans though, those Auburn fans, they're really trying to convince themselves right now that this is a great hire. Oh, I like it. I'm hearing I like this guy. I'm hearing these people saying, "Oh, I like this guy. This guy right here. Oh yeah, 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 yeah." But before, just like a week after Hugh Freeze was fired, and they were looking at the coaching list. Oh, they didn't even have Alex Golish in the top five. Like they were like, no, no, no. I see his record is okay, but no, we're not. But now that they actually hired him, they're trying to act like they're behind him. Man, get the fuck out of here. Auburn made a bad pick. Summerall is an amazing coach. Campus loved him, and he built us up. Florida, a contender. Golish ain't it that Auburn fans ain't happy. No, I mean a lot of fans aren't happy, but they're online trying to, I guess they're just trying to rally behind him just so that maybe he can feel comfortable since he's there now, because they don't. The thing is, right? They didn't like this hire. I know for a fact they didn't like this hire, like you said. But if you don't like the hire, you still in a way have to get behind the coach because they want the program to win, right? If Auburn can win the Iron Bowl, he can save his job. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, it just depends on how good of a season he has. Auburn should have went for Clark Lee from Vandy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You know why I say that? I don't know because I don't know what Clark Lee would be without Pavia. Next year will tell me a lot about Clark Lee. Next year will, but the last two seasons, I don't know. He had yeah. I feel like he got lucky with Pavia. He found Pavia, and and Pavia was the perfect guy for his scheme. Now he do have Jared. What's happening? What's happening, Mr. Salty? What's happening? He did pick up Jared Curtis, the 5-star quarterback in the 2026 class, the number one quarterback in the 2026 class. He stole him from Georgia, right? Now he did do that, but Jared Curtis, he's from Nashville. So I think it was easy for him to make that decision, right? Being that Clark Lee did have success with Diego Pavia. But my thing is this though. It's gonna tell me a lot about Clark Lee in the next few years, the next couple years really, right? Without Pavia. That's how I know. That's how I'll know, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We will see, because Pavia was busting heads at New Mexico. New Mexico, was it New Mexico State? Yeah, they beat Auburn. Pavia was busting heads at New Mexico before he transferred to Vanderbilt, and Clark Lee said, "Yeah, we need that guy." He went and got him. We need that guy. So I really think he got lucky. What's good, little bro? What's up, bro? The fact, the fact we're even talking about Vandy shows he can coach. Vandy been the SEC laughing stock, the same as Kentucky. I mean, I'm not saying he can't coach. I know he I know he can coach because I know the stock that he came from. You know, Clark Lee. Uh, I mean, he still. We know he can coach, right? We know he have a scheme, right? He has a scheme though. His scheme honestly is an outdated scheme. That's the only thing. It's just that Pavia actually just ran the scheme really well. He ran the scheme really well, you know. And so like when you have a quarterback like Pavia that can run that old scheme with sprinkled in RPO, like you catch a team like Alabama off guard, they're not used to that type of offense. Yeah, you're gonna beat some guys. You're gonna beat some teams, right? But you saw they beat Alabama last year. What happened this year? Alabama's like, okay, we understand this scheme now. Alabama looked confused last year when Vanderbilt came out in that game last year. Alabama looked confused on defense. Like they didn't know. I mean, their eye discipline was horrible. They didn't know where the ball was. Old school, wishbone, old school, sprinkled in RPO scheme. That shit had them confused. But this year, you saw a different game this year. It's not hard to figure out that offense, but if you're not used to it, they can fuck you up. Gus coached at USF, and Lee was the defensive coordinator. I was gonna say I knew he came from a somebody's stock. I couldn't remember who it was for Dame. Uh, I don't know. For me, he made more sense as an Auburn hire. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't think Auburn should have got rid of Gus. I don't think Auburn should have got rid of Gus. I think they should have stuck with Gus for the long term. To be honest with you, Gus would have came around. Gus is smart. I do like Gus Malzahn. He's a smart coach. He's a smart coach, and I know that he's able to adjust. He's able to adjust and adapt with the times. He's a smart coach. Really, he really is. You know. But I didn't like the Auburn hire. I didn't like what Lane Kiffin did to Ole Miss. Ole Miss had to hurry up and hire a coach. So they sort of rushed the hire with Pete Golden, and we all know Pete Golden is a defensive coach, a lot like Venables. So it's not a terrible hire. Alabama fans didn't like Pete Golden, but Pete Golden won championships though. Pete Golden won championships at Alabama. He did. Like he won championships at Alabama. So honestly, Ole Miss fans, they might actually have them a good coach, considering that you got to think about everybody that was underneath the Nick Saban umbrella: Steve Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin, Kirk Cincinnati, Mario Cristobal. Uh, who else was underneath that umbrella? Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart. All these coaches who are being successful that was underneath Nick Saban's umbrella. So Pete Golden was underneath that umbrella too, and he won championships at Alabama as a defensive coordinator, right? He is a smart coach. He is not a bad hire for Ole Miss, to be honest with you. He's not a bad hire. What he's gonna do, how he's gonna be smart. He's gonna have to hire a good coaching staff. That's what he's gonna need, especially on offense. He's gonna have to hire a good coaching staff on offense. That's what he needs to do. And he need to pitch his success to recruits too, right? He need to pitch his success to recruits. How do you feel about Penn State disaster? But Lane is talking a lot, taking a lot of his staffers to LSU. Yeah, but he told them they better come now. He told them they better come now. Charlie West coming to LSU as well. Charlie West is, I mean, Lane Kiffin. Yeah, he better try to keep that staff together. But damn, man, that's fucked up what he did to Ole Miss. Penn State disaster. Who did they hire? I forgot who they hired. I forgot who Penn State hired, but Penn State should have got rid of James Franklin. Penn State should have never fired James Franklin. I'm sorry. I know he couldn't get over the hump, but I mean, the man changed that culture, man. He 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 brought Penn State. He made that name Penn State great again. He made that name great again. He made people respect that name again. That's what James Franklin did, right? He put them in the playoffs conversation, preseason top 5 ranking, top 10 ranking every season. He brought recruits to Penn State, you know? Yeah, he couldn't beat the Ohio States, but it was coming. It was getting there. He had another bad season. He had one bad season and they let the man go. It's just crazy, man. If you know, if you knew how bigoted Oxford is, you won't feel bad for them. Really, I don't know nothing about Oxford at all. I don't, but I know a lot about Mississippi though. James Franklin went to Virginia Tech and about to go off. They jumped the gun to fire him, and now they're ranked 200 in recruiting. I didn't even know what they failed to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know they lost a lot of recruits for that though. A lot of recruits, you know, they left. They redacted their signing because of that. But yeah, I mean he that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to Virginia Tech and he's gonna change that culture and and he's gonna win some games. That's what James Franklin do. He win games. He lose games? Yeah. All coaches lose games, you know? So but James Franklin though, he's gonna have to hire a good quarterback coach. That's what I believe. He need to hire a good quarterback coach because that quarterback at Penn State he had the last couple years, he was not it. He was not it. I'm sorry. And they tried to make him one of the preseason Heisman candidates too, I believe, or like they, yeah, he was not it, man. He was not it. I'm sorry. Like, dang, Coach Franklin, you can't find a better quarterback. You need to hire a competent quarterback coach, somebody who can go and find a great quarterback. Because James Franklin couldn't do it. Major schools are all about winning culture. If you're not winning, you're out. Tech been a losing team for years, so he gets more grace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Penn State was also a losing culture for years too. Before he came and turned that fucking program around, he came and turned that program around. Well, nobody talking about no fucking Penn State before James Franklin came. That's facts. That's facts. But it is what it is. He gonna go to Virginia Tech. You know, he bringing his recruits in. He gonna deal with the team that's already there. He gonna implement his scheme, his culture, and we gonna see Virginia Tech win games next year. Watch, we gonna see them win games next year. I forget what their record was this year. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna see them win games though. Shout out to for y'all hitting that like button. Him and Abdul Carter made Penn State honestly no scandals and still let him go. Right. Yeah. No scandals and nothing. That's what I'm saying, man. Everybody, oh, he's such a good person, but he just couldn't win the big games. No, he was a good person and a great coach. He was a great coach. He developed young men. Like he developed young men, you know what I'm saying? Won games. He probably didn't win all the big games, but he won games. What more can you ask? Like you're gonna start all over and then now you gotta go back through more years of turmoil. That shit's so crazy. You hire a great coach, a great developer of young men, a great person, no scandals, no bullshit, none of that crazy stuff. You have a great coach and you let him go. All because you think that some of these schools though, man, some of these schools are in over their heads though. Yeah, 6 plus, 6 plus. Some of these schools are in over their heads though. I'm telling you. Like, find you a great coach, right? And stick with that coach. Now, let me tell you, look at Clemson, right? If Clemson was Penn State, they probably would have fired Dabo Sweeney this year. If Clemson was anything like Penn State, they probably would have fired Dabo Sweeney this year. But why didn't they? But the thing is, Dabo Sweeney has won championships at Clemson. James Franklin haven't. But James Franklin have gotten them close. He's gotten them 10 win seasons, 11 win seasons. He's gotten them close to get there. You let that man stay there and keep trying and keep trying to get over that hump. How many years was he at Penn State? I can't was it how many years find out how many years he was at Penn State. Clemson has loyalty to Dabo. Dabo won for them and built a good culture. Why fire Dabo and go through a multiple year build? Yeah, exactly. Like, but you're gonna have to tell Dabo, and I know Clemson right now. I know that AD and the staff and the general managers. I know they're having a conversation with Dabo. They're like, hey, we know you don't like to use NIL, transfer portal, and all that stuff. Like, we know you don't really like to go out there, and recruit the players utilizing NIL as much like these other schools. But you're gonna have to adapt, Dabo. They're gonna have to have a serious conversation with Dabo Sweeney. They are, because this season is not gonna be. They can't have this type of season for too long. They can't. They're gonna let him do it this year. You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna have to pick it up next year. I'm gonna tell you like that. I know he won championships, but he's gonna have to pick it up though. He's gonna have to pick it up. He's gonna have to pick it up. Hey, Bill. What's up, Bill? Franklin was at Penn State for 12 years. Right, 12 years. Yeah, that's a long time to be there and not win a championship, though. It is. It's a long time, and I mean, yeah, that's a long time. And I don't know the last time Penn State won a championship, a national championship. Have they ever even won a championship? I don't even know if Penn State was. When's the last time Penn State won a national championship? The 50s? What? The 40s? I doubt if it was then because somebody else was running the 50s. Somebody else was running the 50s. They won. They won with Bobby Petrino. What year was that? What year was that? 104 45 record. That's not a bad record. That's not a bad record. But think think it got vacated because of the scandal. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that now. Was it Bobby Petrino? Oh yeah, that was Penn State. I forgot. I thought that was like Sandusky or Sandusky or somebody. I thought they had that scandal with that guy Sandusky or somebody. I'm just going to listen. I won't forgive Joe. I'm just going to listen. I won't forgive Joe Petrino. Who was the guy with the Sandusky guy that had the scandal? Was that at Penn State? He said he won't forgive Joe Petrino. Paternal. Last win was 1986. Bobby knew about Sandusky, okay, and let it happen. So they vacated all his wins, and Eddie Robinson from gambling got the record for most wins now. Grambling. Eddie Robinson from Grambling got the record for most wins now. Joe was the one that allowed it. Okay, right, right. Okay, okay. Yeah, I remember that scandal. I remember that. Mm. I wouldn't be surprised if they well no, that won't be similar. That won't be similar. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Tap that screen, y'all. Tap that screen. Thank you for being here. Tap that screen. Double tap that screen. But yeah, man, you got James Franklin, Penn State. He's out. Virginia Tech. We all knew he was gonna get a great job. Moore next. Moore got man, that's unfortunate. That's crazy. Yep. Moore's next. He won't coach again. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you, Sharon Moore will not coach again. He won't. He just won't. He he won't do it. Facts, Bill. Facts. All facts. No lies detected. I got no use for people who won't protect the weak either, man. Take advantage of the weak. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. But who else? They had so many coaches changes this year. Auburn, Penn State, Michigan now. Michigan still has to find a head coach. He won't even be at FCS school. May may coach JUCO. I don't know, man, because you still talking about you still you're talking about being a leader of young men. How can you be a leader of young men and you can't and you're not leading by example. You're setting a bad example for young men, right? What he was doing. and then he got arrested for what he was doing is setting a bad example, and then the aftermath of being arrested for stalking and uh, all of this stuff, just displaying the mental illnesses that he have. Like, no, he won't be, bro. He literally got to deal with that. Like, no school is gonna want to deal with that, regardless if he go through the rehabilitation processes and things like that. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's you think he's gonna have to they're gonna give him the opportunity. He won't even get a high school job. Why? Because it's younger men. It's younger men that he has to go in there and develop and be a leader of. And even then, like at that point, no, I don't want him coaching younger high school men whose mind is not all fully developed yet, and he's out there setting bad examples. Like, no, no, he's not coaching anywhere. No, he's not. Dude had a mental health episode, then gets arrested, gave the Snow Bunny a 54% raise on the sideline with her just sloppy, very sloppy, very, very, very sloppy coach, very sloppy man. And apparently, it's not the first time he's cheated on his wife and his three daughters, two daughters, young daughters. Sad. I truly don't understand how the college system works. You have to understand that people are people and nobody is beyond reproach. Nobody is beyond reproach at all. At all. And I understand people make mistakes, but um, some mistakes, man, it's just too far. Like some mistakes can be some mistakes is like you you literally you consciously sat there and thought like you consciously sat there and thought that it was a good idea to date your staff knowing that it's wrong, doing it in the public eye, just it's just I don't know, it's crazy, Bill. It would be different if they didn't lie about gaslighting everyone. Facts. Right. Right. Absolutely not. It's not a mistake. You're right about that. Michigan been wild. Michigan and Michigan State coach making us look bad. Now gonna be twice as hard for a young good coach to get in. Yep, you're right about that. Then you have kids and a whole wife. Wow. Yep. Well, Michigan State. I don't know who the head coach is at Michigan State, but I do know that Michigan State just hired Alabama's um, assistant head coach and quarterback coach, Nick Sheridan. So he just left Alabama. He got hired right after the first round of the playoffs. Michigan State just hired him away from Alabama. Now, what that no, was it? I think it was actually before the playoff game they hired him because um, Ryan Grubb, Alabama offensive coordinator, he was sitting up in the booth in the last few games. He's been down on the field, but he said he lost his staff members to Michigan. He lost his staff members because they got hired, and so he didn't have anybody up in the booth to help him analyze and help him see things. So he had to go back up in the booth. But yeah, Michigan State just hired them a good one. They just hired them a good one. Definitely just hired them a good one. Now what is Michigan gonna do? They tried to hire Alabama head coach. They tried to go in there and pay him whatever he wanted, but yeah. I like you, however, if you were abusing someone, I'd be done with you. Facts. Likewise. Likewise. If I find out anybody is abusing someone, you know, can't deal with you, man. I can't deal with you. Yeah, Sheridan played quarterback at Michigan, So he's going back home. Good move for him. Yeah, he played. That's the thing, though. It's like, um, I mean, I don't know if is that still considered a rivalry? I don't think that even. I don't even think that's a rivalry, right? Michigan and Michigan State. Maybe it used to be a rivalry, but I don't know if it's still a rivalry. It might be an in-state. I don't know. That's crazy how the in-state rivalry is not even bigger than the Ohio and Michigan, the Ohio State and Michigan rivalry. That's crazy. But yeah, they got him a good one in Sheridan. The whole college system has changed over the years, and it's gonna continue to change. It's gonna continue to change and update. It's a rivalry, but it's not as big as the game. Mm, yeah. So they got Nick Sheridan. I'm not sure who the head coach is now at Michigan State. Um, Somebody just got a contract extension yesterday. Um, Cal, is it Cal Dillingham? Is that his name? Cal Dillingham at where is he at? Arizona State. He just got a contract extension. Somebody was trying to hire him. I forgot who was trying to hire him. The the guy at Arizona State. Cal. Yeah, Cal. Is it Cal? Yeah, he got a contract extension yesterday. I thought that was interesting. What up, 28 God? What up, 28 Go Ducks? Whatever your name. 28 Go Ducks. When I was young kid, signed up with a college and stayed. When I was young, a kid signed up with a college and stayed there. Yeah, yeah. Now these kids they go to college and if they don't like it, they leave. Or if they don't like the way Kirby Smart said he said they invite recruits to come visit and they put them through a workout and he said he don't care if this recruit is the number one recruit in his position. He don't care if this recruit is the number one recruit in his state. He don't care if this is a big name recruit. If this guy doesn't have dog in him, if they put him through a training and it's too tough, he whines, he cries, or whatever. If he can't get with the program, even if a recruit makes it to the first year at Georgia, but he just not a good fit, he can't really get over that hump of toughness. Kirby Smart said he don't want him. He don't want him. He said he don't want guys that can't go through the fire. I'm sorry. He said they can go and be on a team that makes it easier for them. And that's what it is. Some players, if it's too hard, they'll hit the transfer portal. If they don't like the way the coach talk to them because they're just I don't know. I don't want to say anything crazy, but if they don't like the way the coach talk to them, they'll hit the transfer portal. It's just like I don't know, man. You're right. These kids back then they used to stay at the school. Now they leave for any and every little thing. They will leave. Michigan wanted him. Michigan wanted him. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, they gave him a contract extension. Arizona State is nice now. Why would he leave for Michigan? For more money. That's what y'all don't understand. Arizona State don't have the resources Michigan have. They don't. More money, money talk, bullshit. Well, just like Lane Kiffin, money talk. But I don't mind him leaving Ole Miss, but I feel like he left at the wrong time. I'm thinking about the players. I know you talked about Oxford and how bigoted Oxford, Mississippi is, but I'm thinking about the players. The players mean more than the fan base. I'm sorry. Because these recruits are entitled now, they're making more money than late NFL draft picks. Can't tell them anything. That's right. And I can't wait till like it becomes uh, a thing where e- every coach reach an agreement, every AD reach an agreement to where, look, we got to stop paying these recruits too much too soon. Too much too soon. Look at Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams, look at his sophomore slump. He's getting paid all that NIL money though, but he's the number he leads the nation in drop passes. Ryan Williams leads the nation in drop passes since this last game, but he's one of the highest paid recruits, NIL guys in the nation. Why? Because he was popular coming out of high school. Popular. It's crazy. Where's Dr. Big Balls? I don't know. You might have to call him up. That's your buddy. Call him up, see where he's located. They get an education and with a scholarship that is worth thousands and other students that have to pay for their own education. Yep, they get an education too. That's the thing that a lot of times, that's the thing that is really, in my opinion, is starting to become less of a focus for recruits. I'm telling y'all, these recruits are worried about the money. The money. They don't give a damn about no. They don't give a damn about no education. You got Fernando Mendoza left Yale. The Heisman Trophy winner left Yale to go to Cal. Cal Berkeley is not a bad school. That's actually a very prestigious school. He left Cal Berkeley to go to where? Indiana. Man, these kids ain't worried about no fucking education. He's smart though. He was smart. He's one of the smart ones though. But you have kids that are actually intelligent and can actually go get a great education for a great school who are turning down these schools to go get the bag and play football. They're turning down they don't care about the education no more. That part is going out the window. NIL is that part is going out the window. NIL is taking over. All right. Let's see. I'm not going to change. Bill said I'm not going to change rooting for Michigan regardless of what one man has done. I agree. Woody Hayes hit one of his players. He did. I'm I'm sure a lot of coaches hit those players back then. College football is now just the G League for the NFL. Mid majors develop players and they transfer to bigger school. Yep. It's a broken system now. More money in sports betting really doing damage. Yep. Yep. Left Yale. Yep, he did. Fernando Mendoza left Yale for Cal Berkeley to play football, but he's a one-off though. He actually left Yale and went and went to Cal Berkeley. He did a lot of internships and things like that. He's really smart and intelligent. If you look up from Fernando Mendoza's story, dude is crazy intelligent. Man, at Tulane, these guys were taking classes in poetry and clay making. College isn't about education now. They just taking classes to play. That's it. That's it. Consciousness had a few in my classes. They didn't do any work. Yep. I didn't do any work when I played college basketball. I didn't do well. I did a little work, but I didn't do nothing in chemistry class because it was hard. But they just passed me through. I love how after a couple of years you can't find work because they're ignorant. Yep. And I just hope, I wish it wouldn't be like that. Education should be important because knees will blow out. Knees will blow out. Brains will go out. When you have concussions, knees will blow out. Eyes get poked out. Bats get blown out. My friend's older brother was the quarterback for Harvard back in the '60s, and he is a smart man. Oh yeah, what was his name? But education will be forever. I mean, I know that. I mean, Education will continue to be forever. But all I'm saying is the football recruits coming out of high school today, most of them not thinking about their education. Most of them. They thinking about that bag. They thinking about that big bag. Who can offer me more money? Even though I haven't proved myself, I only been in high school. I haven't played a day, one day in college in a college uniform. But my expectations is I need $1 million. What? Bro, what? $1 million and you haven't played a college football game yet? Crazy work. But the thing is, a lot of colleges had to do it because every college is not the same. You know, a lot of colleges showed they showed their characters. They really showed their characters when they did that. I was kindergarten. I was a horrible student. Man, I was chilling in kindergarten, man. But you have to understand if you're coming from an impoverished background. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's a narrative that I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that, man. Because like Bill just said, you're going to school for free. These schools, these you look, when you go play college football at a big school, right? They taking care of the football players. Them sit in their rooms starving. They have an opportunity to get an education, right? And I'm not saying they shouldn't be offered money. NIL is a great thing, right? But offering these players $2 million out of high school and they haven't done anything is crazy to me. Crazy. You haven't done you only did high school the speed of the game is different. You don't know how these players gonna show up, right? But you're gonna pay them 2,000. It should never really got that high. Honestly, it should never really got that high. It should never really got that high, because most of them they call it name, image, and likeness. You look at a lot of their social medias. A lot of them don't even have over 20K followers. A lot of them don't even have over 15, 10K followers on each platform. The only ones who have it are those big name guys like Jeremiah Smith. You know what I'm saying? Man, get out of here. You think these these dudes some schools are helping players with their NIL money. Some schools are helping players with their NIL money, helping them, teaching them financial literacy and investment and things like that. That is a good thing. It definitely is. But when the product when the product is not being shown on the field, the product's not being shown on the field, or you're not, yeah, it's not being shown on the field. You're not who you're being paid to be. Then what? Last name was Chrome. These universities making billions from just college football alone, so the players deserve a cut. They do not deserve a cut. They don't deserve anything. All they don't have to go to these colleges. The college give you the platform. Literally, the college recruits you. Yeah, they need each other, but the college, you're coming to their school and they're giving you the platform, right? That's what they're doing. They're giving you the platform. They're giving you the opportunity to come to their school. They're paying for your education. right? For your future. They giving you the opportunity to come through their university, right? Which is a streamlined way to make the NFL. It's a way to go to the NFL to go make you millions of dollars and retire and be successful for the rest of your life. The universities are giving you that opportunity to go to the NFL. There's no other way to go to the NFL. You can't just come out of high school and go to the NFL. You can't just go make your own league and play and go to the NFL. No. Universities are giving you that opportunity to have a platform and to make the NFL, right? You deserve a cut, but you don't deserve who says you what cut? Come on, man. It's a privilege to go to these places. 2025 Silverados, that's nice. I ain't gonna lie. I would love that. I would love that. The college would exist without players. They just won't have a program. The college would exist without players. They just won't have a program. You're risking health for them because you're still making a choice to come. Yeah, they deserve something, but they don't deserve the shit that they be asking for. Give me $1 million. Man, get out of here. No, how about you come to my program and prove that you worth the $1 million. Then we'll talk about it. But don't come out of high school asking for $1 million. No. Stop it. It needs to stop. They're not gonna boycott it. They can't. So what? 5 million, they make 5 million just in concession stands. So what? So what? That still don't mean you deserve to get $1 million out of that. No. The players, the players who deserve the most are the players who stay and produce. The players who stay and produce. Those are the players who deserve the most. Not these kids coming straight out of high school asking for money because they're coming to your school. No. No. It's a reciprocal relationship. Man, look, look, bro. I'm giving you an education and a chance to go to the NFL. What are you giving me? You're coming here to play. You're coming here to play. That's a privilege. It's so many other kids that don't think like that. It's so many other kids that don't think like some of these players. I'm giving you two things. I'm giving you, man, the universities is giving them so much. They're giving them network opportunities. They're giving them in internship, a chance to get education, networking, investment opportunities, uh, NFL opportunities. Man, the university is giving more than what these players are bringing. I'm sorry, they're giving more. They're giving more. You're building all type of relationships. Come on, man, bro. You can get a degree online, but you ain't going to no NFL. We talking about players. Yeah, go get a degree online. I agree that the I agree that the universities prices are way too expensive. I agree. We definitely that's it's just too expensive. Seriously. It really is. But, you know, it ain't just the university that's making money off the players. But the universities don't pay the players directly though. That's still like they still don't pay them directly. They just offer them the NIL packages. But the university itself does not pay players directly. These are all NIL deals, sponsorship deals through the university. Sponsorship deals, they pay them players uh, because it's a name, image, and likeness. That's why, you know, certain players get paid more. Bouncing a basketball, throwing a football, any other physical activity does not make you smarter than anyone else. Definitely not. Sure don't. You're right about that, but Bill, you got to think about it though. The Ivy League. Hold on, let me read the rest of the Ivy League. Been around longer than sports. Facts. I'm just trying to play or learn, and sometimes both. Adam, I know he played for the Panthers, but I can't pronounce his last name. From Detroit, late Minnesota, he worked to get where he was at. Some of these are $90,000 a year. Highest paid state employees are coaches. Yep, sure is. Coaches, yep. But you got to think though, man. Um, where you said bouncing a basketball, throwing football, or any other physical activity does not make you smarter than no one else. It don't make you smarter than no one else. I agree. Um, but that's what's being paid attention to the most, though. That's what's being paid attention to the most is sports, entertainment. Unfortunately, all right, all things which they can get on their own and is paid by your tax dollars. These universities aren't paying for much. All things which they can get on their own and is paid by your tax dollars. You are paying for much. Yeah. Lane Kiffin gets $100 million with 80% black team and a 40% black state, and players can't get paid. I never said players can't get paid. I think you're taking. I don't understand. Oh, maybe I never said players. I never said I won't. I don't want players to get paid. Okay, I'm not saying that. I just literally told you that I think that the players who stay and produce should get paid the most, right? That's who should get paid. Coming right out of high school and you haven't done anything and you have expectations. Who the fuck are you? The university hadn't made nothing off of you yet. They haven't made a dime off of you and you asking for $5 million. Get out of here. No. Sit down. But coaches are doing it and getting a lot of players. They're doing it and getting the number one recruiting class, and they're doing it. Texas A&M. Look at Texas A&M. They were doing that, but they couldn't develop players. They couldn't develop them. Like they going and paying these players. Texas A&M. They wasn't having no number one recruiting class 10 years ago. They wasn't doing that. NIL came around. Here they go paying all these players all these money out of high school, getting the number one recruiting class. They made it to the playoff this year. Yeah, true enough. But laid an egg. Laid an egg. Why? Because you're going and buying these players and you're not developing them and you're starting them too soon. You're giving them promises and they're not being developed. Don't you think for recruiting purposes they need to pay you? They don't you think for recruiting purposes they need to pay they need to pay to get the best high school players. Maybe if they don't produce, you have an option to lower it or have a sign-in bonus type system. No. I think for recruiting purposes, the main focus should be your education, the scheme in which you fit the best, and the culture of the university. The education, the scheme that fits you the best, and the culture of the university. NIL should be talked about last. It should be talked about last. When you start, these kids are going to schools that they don't even. They run a whole different scheme in high school. They they look flawless. Some of these some of these some of these kids are in a program in high school and they're breaking high school records underneath that scheme. But they're taking the money at a school and they don't even fit the scheme of that school and that coach. They're going to a whole entire different scheme. And now let's Jaden Rashida, I think that's his name. Jaden Rashida, somebody like that. He was the number one, like he was the top quarterback in the 2023 class. He got recruited by I forget he wanted all this money. He wanted all of this money. He went to Miami, I believe. Miami paid him the most. They offered him, I forgot how much it was. No, yeah, he committed to Miami, but he flipped his commitment. He wanted more money. He flipped his commitment to Florida because Florida offered him $13 million in NIL. $13 million. He ended up suing Florida because they didn't pay him the money that they promised him. Left Florida. Where did he go? He goes to Arizona State or Iowa State. It's one of the two. Jaden Rashida, look it up. He's chasing all of this money, but he don't care about the scheme, the system that fits him, that could get him to the NFL, that can develop him as a young man, develop him as a quarterback. He don't care about any of that. He just wants the money. But you think that's what players should be focused on is the money, right? But this is a prime example. No, it should be education first, scheme, culture, and then NIL. Now he's at Georgia. He transferred to Georgia and he ended up being like the third string quarterback. Didn't even play at Georgia. I don't even know where he is right now. I don't even know where he is right now. But he is not playing football. I don't know where he is right now. But he was chasing the bag. He was too greedy. Too greedy. Worried about he think he's worth something because he was one of the top recruits out of high school. I'm worth this. I know my worth. Bro, kids are messing up their futures acting like that, being that way, thinking that they deserve something, thinking that they're entitled to money that they haven't shown nothing for. No. No, it don't work like that, bro. I don't agree. I do not agree. If you're if you're that good in high school, some team will pay you what the market decides you're worth. Yeah, but a lot of them, ball striker, a lot of them aren't really. Yeah, they're not worth it. Look at Ryan Williams. We live in an influencer society. Yep. I mean, Oregon has Phil Knight from Nike dropping bans to get players, and they can never win a natty. There's major flaws in the NIL system, but if you want to win now, you have to drop a bag. I understand that. I definitely understand that. But that's not, you know, what you mean if you want to win now? Nick Saban is the greatest coach of all time. He did not win with NIL. Everybody swear up and down he was spending all this money on players. He was paying players before NIL. There's no proof of that at all. Nick Saban went into Alabama in 2007. He didn't have no number one recruiting class when he went into Alabama. He did not have no top 10 recruiting class when he went into Alabama. He went into Alabama and he changed the culture and he went in there and preached education and development. He went in there with his philosophy and he won games. When he started winning games, players started wanting to come play for Nick Saban. They wanted to start, and he built that culture. He built a winning culture at Alabama, And he started to, after he won his first national championship, and the second one, he started getting all the number one recruiting classes for years straight, top two, top three recruiting classes. After that, getting all the best players without NIL money, without it. Man, mix me with that. Mix me with that. That if you want to win games, you gotta pay players. Nick Saban didn't do it. He won game because he built a winning culture. He developed young men into being men. He preached education, and he picked the players that fit his scheme. Education is the most important. You're right. I remember years ago they had college all-star teams playing the NFL college NFL championship team, and sometimes they would win. Really? Nico left Tennessee for UCLA for more money, and he's collapsed. Exactly. TJ Finley is on his 17th. Ridiculous. Major colleges and universities have been taking advantage of football players, particularly for generations. Now the shoe is on the other foot, and I am for getting what you can get as soon as possible. Oh, you're for getting what you can get as soon as possible. I'm not mad at the students. I'm not mad at the players. I'm mad at the universities for doing it. I ain't paying you shit. You ain't showed me nothing. No, I take that back. I will pay you, but I'm gonna pay you what I think you're worth because you haven't produced nothing. Coming out of high school, yeah, okay, you were a top recruit, cool. But how many top recruits have we saw completely come into college and they're no name? A lot, many of them. Dom, you have spent a lot of time researching and thinking about you are more aware than some sportscasters, and they go to college to learn how to do it. Thank you, Bill. I'm okay though, but I do think about this stuff a lot, you know, and I develop my own opinion about it. Average NFL average NFL career is 5 years. If you can make more in college than 5 years in the NFL, I don't blame them either. Take advantage of the system. The system is messed up. They Saban paid players under the table. You have no proof of that. That's speculation. You have no proof that Nick Saban paid players under the table. He would have literally gotten in trouble for that. Why? No, you have no proof of that. All you do is hear rumors about that. He built it off the backs of LSU. He was paying players at LSU. He built it off the back of LSU, bro. Come on, bro. LSU. Yeah, I hear you, man. That man went into Alabama and went 7-6 his first year. Lost to ULM. We talk about Brian Kelly, not Brian, yeah, Brian Kelly. No, Marcus Freeman losing to Northern Illinois. Nick Saban lost to University of Louisiana Monroe his first season. Went 7-6. 2008, turned that program around. Recruited, brought some players in there. You got to think. You talk about he paying players. Mark Ingram was a three-star running back. He developed Mark Ingram into a Heisman Trophy running back. Mark Ingram was a three-star running back coming out of high school. Who else? Um, damn, what's his name? Mac Jones. Mac Jones was a three-star quarterback out of Jacksonville, Florida. What did Mac Jones do? He come into Alabama as a three-star quarterback. He waits 3 years to start. He sat behind Jalen Hurts. He sat behind Tua for 3 years. Started his senior year, won a national championship. Now he's in the NFL playing. Man, now he's back. He's the backup for Brock Purdy. Nick Saban developed players. He developed players. That's what he did. He developed a culture and built that program. Not off the backs of LSU. What? Get out of here. You're insane. Bro, if Nick Saban was paying players, the NCAA would have found out about it, and they would have have done him like they did Jeremy Pruitt. They would have done him like they do all these other coaches when they do things that are against NCAA rules. Why was he never penalized for this? Why? Did it ever go through a court system and was it ever proven to be true? No. No, it wasn't. So all you could do is speculate and say what you heard, but Nick Saban was not paying players at all. College football teams change so often. You have to have the culture first. Have to. The adults in the room. Yeah, ULM Warhawks has a nice team and won by a field goal. Had right. Yeah, he is a great coach, no lie. But to say he didn't pay players is insane. You can say it's insane if you want to, but you have no facts. You have no facts. I love facts. I don't like opinions or speculations. Come with facts. Come with facts. Come with court cases. Because I guarantee you, if he was paying players like you think, he would have been penalized. And a lot of those championships would have been held back. But no, you know what happened? He won championships, and just the other week, he just got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. That's what happened to Nick Saban. He just got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Why? Because he won the right way. He was not paying players. He left, yeah, he went to Miami, right, and failed, right? He didn't do well. He didn't do well in the NFL. He didn't. But I don't even think he was there long enough to say he failed. I mean, I don't think he was there it's hard to win championships in the NFL. But to say he failed is like, yeah, you technically he failed because he didn't do well in the NFL, but he wasn't there long enough. I think you give him if he would have stayed, but he didn't like the NFL. He'll tell you that Nick Saban didn't like the NFL. He didn't like the way like you have to listen. You can go back and watch some clips of him explaining why he preferred college over NFL. I don't want to like put words in his mouth, but he didn't like the NFL. I think it was along the lines of like in college you could develop young men, and they'll listen to you. You can teach them. In the NFL, they already think they know it all. These are paid professionals, right? But that's part of the reason why he left college. He didn't want to deal with the NIL shit no more. He didn't want to deal with that because you're gonna get a bunch of entitled kids, and they're not gonna want to listen to you no more. Exactly, as they should, Bill. As they should, as they should. All your accomplishments goes out the window when you have shit like that on your name. I don't care what you did at that point. You start having scandals and shit like that. I don't care what you did. Some people will argue you can't take that away from a person. But, yeah. You also can't take away a lot of people you affected either. Can't take away the things that you did to a lot of people. Oh man. Joe just happy Eddie Robinson is the winningest coach in college football now with no scandals. Mm, nice. Steve Spurrier won out the trophy over Bob Grease. Who do you want? Uh, who do you want for your quarterback as a pro? Bob Grease. Yeah. Steve Spurrier. Oh, Bob Greasy. Oh man. Yo, it's about time for me to get some rest, man. I was just gonna say that he has a steakhouse in Florida, don't he? Or is it like is it around? Is it spread out? It's really good steakhouse randomly. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Steve Spurrier got a steakhouse in Gainesville, I think. I thought it was only in Florida because they got some signs up in Florida on 75. I think Steve Steve Spurrier Steakhouse. I never ate there though. Bob Greasy. Who was that quarterback that played for the Broncos that was a Greasy? Is that him? He played for the Broncos. Bob Greasy or Grease or one of those Grease players played for the Broncos. I don't know. It might have been him. Y'all know I've been working all night, man. I gotta lay down at some point. Gotta lay down at some point. How do you want it? Man, we talked about a lot though, man. We talked about all the coach changes, NIL, college, students, education, scandals. We talked about a lot. We definitely did. And you guys made a lot of good points. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everybody have their opinion on things, you know. Um, and it's all right to disagree on certain things and keep a respectful conversation. Disagree, and that's what we had. We had a respectful conversation. Uh, I'm not against players being paid money. I'm not against that at all. Especially the players who are doing everything the right way. You know, and you know, if it's not a great system though, the NIL is not a great system at all. It's not. It is not a great system at all. But we'll see what happens. Years to come, Bob Grease is known as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins undefeated team. His backup Earl Moore won more games that he yes, that was Brian Grease. Yes. Yes, Brian. That's who I was thinking about, not Bob. You watched Bob. I watched Brian. Yeah. Yeah, Brian. You watched Bob. I knew Brian. That's who I knew. Brian Greasy. I used to love. I used to love him. His son. Yeah. Yep.
He used to tear it up at the Broncos, man. Tear it up. Indeed, indeed. Oh man. You got a mini education today? Yeah. I love college football. I love college football. It's changed a lot for sure. It's definitely changed a lot for sure. And the expectations are through the roof now with the coaches. It's do or die. That's the whole thought process now behind these universities. These football programs are um, they they have a lot of expectations now, and coaches are being fired left and right, year in and year out. They're not giving no more than 3 years now. They're not giving no more than three. They're not wasting time on these coaches anymore. They're not. They pay them all this money, and they're expecting them to come in and win games. You know, I can get it though. I get it to an extent because Auburn, Auburn University, just wasted 3 precious years on Hugh Freeze, that head coach at Auburn. They wasted 3 precious years on Hugh Freeze, and he didn't do anything with that recruiting class that he brought in. He brought in some talent at that university. A lot of talent he brought in there. I mean, top 10 recruiting classes. One year he had a top 5 recruiting class, and he didn't do anything with them. He just wasted their time, wasted their development, and they let him go. They had to let him go. So I can get the whole expectation aspect of these head coaches. That's our age difference. I got a daughter older than you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. You're 72. Yeah. Yeah. You're 72. Yeah. My mom's I'm 34. My mom 57. My dad is 62. Mm. Oh man. It be like that. I know. That would be lovely. But I don't want to go. I don't want to go like. I like to go to the home games. I went to one game this year. That was in January when they played Michigan. I went to that game in Tampa in January, and we got rained on. It was pouring. It was pouring in Tampa. I went with my ex at the time. It was pouring. Um, I like to go to home games too, but like away games though, games like this, I just want to go to California, maybe rent an Airbnb, nice big screen or something like that, and watch the game with friends and family and something like that. Just be in that Pasadena. I want to go and tailgate before the game start, and then go back to the Airbnb and watch the game. I don't even want to go in the stadium because it's gonna be just, I don't really like to like, because it's, for one, if you really want to see the good game up close, you're gonna have to pay that money. You got to pay for the ticket, and I don't have that type of ticket money, that type of money to pay for no outrageous up close seat ticket price. No, not doing it. Front row seat, sideline ticket price. I don't have that kind of money. So I'm gonna go home and watch the game. I just want to go to Pasadena for the tailgate experience. You know what I mean? The difference between a championship and not is sometimes one drop ball. Yep. Talent doesn't make chemistry. Absolutely not. You're right about that. Now, if you take that talent and develop that talent over a course of 2 or 3 years, it could definitely develop some chemistry. But you need a good coach. You need a smart, competent coach who can help develop that chemistry. But what you have down there in Florida State, you don't have a good coach because he have all that talent, but he's not developing those players. Mike Norvell is not a good coach, but there's a lot of talent there. And plus though, being a good coach come with how well the players respect you too. Players have to respect you as a coach. They have to. Players know, like when you're playing for somebody, you know if your coach is um, teaching you right, developing you right. You know as a coach, as a player, you do because it's evident. Oh yeah, I always give him a hug when I see him. Um, Hugh Freeze at Auburn could not get those boys to play for him. He could not get those boys to play for him. They fired him, and that team looked like they just did a complete 360, like 180. I mean, like a complete turnaround. Like they started playing w- much better. I mean, they started scoring points on offense. Hugh Freeze could not get those guys to do anything. So it takes a good coach to come in and develop players and teach young men how to do things fundamentally and do it soundly the right way. A good coach know how to put his players in the best positions. You know how many um, players Nick Saban changed positions for. Nick Saban turned running backs into DBs. He turned running backs into wide receivers. He changed their positions. He turned linebackers. He turned like players. He changed their positions and told them you would be better at this position and developed them at this position and got them to the NFL. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Sure does. Yeah, I am. I am, Bill. I'm about to get ready to lay it down, man. Lay it down, put my phone on the charger, and call it a day. Try to wake up about. I wake up about five, about five, 4 or 5, something like that. I gotta get my rest. Yeah, yep. Wake up about 5 o'clock. Sounds good, Bill. As always good to see you. Always good to see you, my friend. We will talk later on. Take care and have a great day.